Well, hello, and welcome to the Mom Live Show. I am going to continue this conversation of lifestyle by design by really giving you an opportunity to see how you can design a lifestyle basically however you want. My name is Rashida Green. I am the founder and CEO of Get Right Coaching, the host of the Mompreneur HQ community, and the creator of Digimompreneur Academy, where we help moms who are determined to start, grow, and scale online businesses so that they can build the life of their dreams without neglecting themselves or their families in the process. And we do that through coaching, content, community, and now through the Digimompreneur Academy, where you can get access to all kinds of learning templates and journals to kind of keep you on track to where you want to go. All right. So I hope that you are joining me live. And if so, go ahead and put hashtag live in the comment field. And if you are watching the replay, hashtag replay. No biggie. Glad that you're able to come and join us and watch our show. When you do make a comment, make sure that you put your first comment is where you are checking in from. We like to know where our people are in the world. I know that we have different time zones. I know that some people are working in the middle of the day at 2 p.m., but we want to make sure that we are reaching you and you are seeing us. If you are getting ready for today's show, we're going to be talking about short term gigs, long term dreams, how mompreneurs can excel with freelance services. Freelance services. That means those are services that you are going to be doing as an individual. Freelance means they typically are a non-committal. Of course, there are what do you call those? Retainers, like 2 month, 3 month retainers, 6 month retainer, and things like that. But for the gist of it, freelance just basically means you get to choose the products, the services that you offer. You These are not going to be typically products because this freelance work is going to be something that you can start pretty easily and with minimal cost. Now, is it free to run a freelance business? Typically not. There are some fees that you would need to have, but we're not going to get into all of the fees and breakdown of freelancing. We just want to give you the picture of how it could be for you if you had started a freelance business to live the life that you choose to live by design. All right. And so grab your pen, paper, pencil, digital device, whatever you're using to record the nuggets that we're going to drop today, then go ahead and get those. You got 3, 2, 1. Just kidding. One way to generate money while you're building a business that will work around your schedule and your life is to start a service based business. Freelance service based work is the fastest way to generate an income online or offline. In fact, if your main goal right now is to quit your job, for instance, and come home and be with your family, doing service based work for a short term income may be the answer you need to give you enough time to focus on building your business. And this is in this situation where it's not the same thing. So you have a dream to own an agency. Well, right now it's just you're a solopreneur. So then you start freelancing your own services to get that money coming in so that you can then build on to your big dream of being this magnificent, wonderful business owner. Right now, mind you, freelancing, if you know anything about Fiverr or Upwork, people make good money freelancing. They have no commitment to an office space. They don't have to wring out all this money for a team. And it's just them providing freelance work, one off, so to speak. And if they want, they can do longer term relationships, but they are making a lot of money. So don't think that because my title says short term gigs, long term dreams, that you have to do it for a short term. It just means that the freelance work can typically be short term gig. All right. Now, let's talk about all of the benefits that there are for having your own service based freelance business. The first one is that you'll make more money in less time. Most service based business ideas tend to generate more hourly more hourly income than most jobs today doing the same exact work. For example, an online graphic designer can generate $100 an hour as a freelancer, but in a job, you'd be lucky to get 10, 15 to $20 an hour, depending on the hiring manager or the position that you're hiring for. This is just the nature of the beast these days. And the main reason is that you can get paid when you do a service, but not for sitting around the office filing. You see what I'm saying? So you can charge an hourly rate that is way more than what you would get at a job where they're splitting their income or their profit, and they're splitting their profit with all these other employees, and they're paying out expensive benefits and so forth and so on. So you get to charge whatever you like and whatever you believe that your services are worth, and people will pay them and be happy about the work that you do as long as you're doing great work. It's so much more than what you would as an employee. Another benefit is that you can save on commuting. Think about it. If you work a service-based job at home, you eliminate the cost of commuting to work every day. Not only do you save money on the commuting part, but you also save time. Think about that. If it takes you 45 minutes each way, or back in the day, it would take me an hour each way. So I'm spending 2 hours on the road. And then my manager, who was over me, lived in a whole nother state. So his commute during the course of a day was 6 hours, was 4 to 6 hours, depending on the traffic, right? So imagine what you can do with that extra 4 or 6 hours a day that you would spend in traffic, or that extra hour a day that you would spend on the bus. There's so many things that you can do in your business to grow your business with that time that you spent sitting idle in a traffic jam. All right. So the national average of commuting time in the United States is almost 30 minutes every day. And that adds up with time, right? 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, 8 weeks a year, give or take, if you have 2 weeks off vacation minimum, right? That could be used for generating income in your business. So just think about that when you're considering freelance work. Another benefit, you save money on eating out. Let me tell you, eating out is definitely the sin of my wallet, so to speak. It is not my wallet that does the spending. It is me. I'm fully aware of that. I just don't want to, what do they call it? Denial, right? So most people who work a job tend to eat out despite valiant attempts, right? And best intentions. I can pack a lunch, but that would probably be like one day out of the week. And even if I said, oh, good, I'm going to pack a lunch, I got some great leftovers. 5 days a week, I pack a lunch. But guess what? I spent money on breakfast. So now I'm still spending money, just not as much. And spending several dollars a day, it adds up. Now, if you only spend $5 a day, that's real light, right? That's just the coffee. That would still add up to be about $1,300 a year. And imagine what you can do with just $1,300 right now to expand your business, or to put it into your business and make your freelance work just blossom. That could be ad money that you could use. I mean, it could be a number of things. It can be that new printer in order to do the service that you really want to do. Another benefit would be that you can potentially eliminate childcare costs, right? If you're working full time, you have to put your child in before care, after care, daycare, all these different services, because and pay for them because you're not able to be at home with them. And the reason I mentioned it as a potential cost saving measure is because it really does depend on your kids and your situation. If you have a toddler, for example, you may find yourself working around his or her schedule, but you may then decide that you can just go ahead and splurge a little on part-time daycare, or splurge a little more and hire an in-home sitter instead. But if you're paying for before and after care for children who are of age enough to be self-sufficient while you work in your room or in your office or your study, then you can eliminate those childcare costs by working from home. Another plus would be that maybe you can even get rid of a second car expense. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be easy or that it's something that is required. I'm just saying it's an option, right? Because I, for one, appreciate the having multiple cars in the home because I don't have to wait till nobody gets back from where they're going. If they get lost, if they stop for gas or go to the grocery store, that will not impact my schedule because I have a vehicle and I can be out, right? But in the situation where you do have multiple cars that are, if you're freelancing from home, you may not need the car as much as you would have if you were driving into work every day. That way you can just eliminate the car altogether. So we talked about how it's saving on commuting. So when you're commuting, you're using gas, right? So you don't have to use gas. And when you wear down your car, you're visiting the repairman a lot more because you're constantly using the vehicle to go back and forth to work at least 5 days a week. Now, if you're on a part-time schedule where you can go in the office part-time and stay home part-time, then that does present some relief on the commute and the issues that come with using your car all the time every day. But again, it can save you a few $100s, depending on your car and your car note, but it save you a few $100s, even up to $1,000, depending on the cost that you can save from your budget each month. And this is an amazing amount of savings that guess what? You're right. You can possibly use in your business. And then it can even make it more possible for you to quit your job faster than you might have thought. Another bonus or plus would be that you start living your new entrepreneur lifestyle now. You don't have to wait. Once you decide that quitting your job is way to go, you decide, okay, I'm going to quit my job. Even if you've not yet built up this humongous email list or client list, or you just haven't built up your business enough to where you say that it's self-running and contributing to your new lifestyle of freedom, even still, you can start living aspects of your new life vision now. Once you are not tied down to your job, you'll open up entirely new possibilities. You'll think a little differently because you're able to create your own income versus waiting for someone to pay you an income. All right. Now, we've talked about the benefits, the pluses, and all the things that make freelancing a great opportunity for you. I would suggest that if it's something that you're interested, definitely give it some thought, do some research, but you want to start with just assessing yourself, asking yourself, what skills do I have? So, to figure out what you will do as a service-based business, consider what skills you already have. You don't want to go about learning new skills just to start a business because then that defeats the purpose because now you're actually investing more time, investing more money, and now becoming more dependent on the job because you need that job to fulfill the investments of trying to start a business. And besides, at this point, you are using skills that you already have to kind of jumpstart you. Remember, we talked about short-term gigs, right? This is temporary. This is not necessarily the end all be all unless you find that you are making a ton of money to be able to live up to the dream lifestyle that you desire. And you just say, you know what? Short term is where it's at. I'm going to do short term forever in a day because I don't want to be in any committed work relationship. And so I'm going to stick with freelancing. And that's all well and good. Now, when we're talking about what skills do you have, for example, if you're a teacher now, why not investigate the many online English teaching options available today? Have you ever heard of VIP Kids, or they call it VIP Kids? But I know VIP Kids, where you get to teach abroad or teach any, it's usually abroad. Like I know I looked into it for English as a second language and teaching online for children in Asian countries, teaching them English. And so that was something that is still out there that people are still getting hired to do. And it's something freelance. It's something that you can choose to do your own schedule, your own hours, and you can do it from your home. You don't have to go outside of your home to do it, and it is reasonable pay. So that's an option if depending on what it is that you're looking to bring into your home. And you want to make this as easy as a transition as possible. You don't want it to be difficult. Don't want to do too much. Like I said, going to school, trying to invest in new skills. You want to use what you have in your hand. That's a scripture reference, but use what you already know in order to be able to jump into freelancing faster. Now, another example, again, we talked about the graphic designer, how if you were a graphic designer working for a marketing firm, for example, you may get 15, 20, $25 an hour, but you can charge whatever it is that you want. In this case, the example that we gave earlier was $100. But think about it. If you are a graphic designer in a marketing firm, for example, that's a skill that will pay the bills, okay? That is a skill that you can use outside. I think a phrase that I heard was what you get paid to do from your 9 to 5, someone will pay you to do from 5 to 9. So basically saying whatever skills you have that keep you employed, like your work, best believe those can somehow be transferred and transferable to your own business. So if the example I gave was the teacher. If you were a teacher and then you just decide to do VIP kids and teach online. In this case, if you were a graphic designer at a marketing firm and you decide you're going to use those same graphic design skills to be a freelancer for small to medium businesses, and you can start creating, you can do your own online store and start creating templates, whether that be Acrobat PDFs, templates, digital templates, Excel spreadsheets, Google Sheet templates, Canva templates. What's the other one? Adobe invitations. If you did that at your previous job, you can create invitations. If you were a teacher, you can create learning tools that you can do digitally online. These are all options of online businesses slash freelance opportunities that you can use to establish the lifestyle that you want without having to commit to a full-time job. Another example that I wanted to share is if you are an avid reader. Someone would say, "Oh, well, what am I going to do? I don't really like to do much. I do love reading though." If that's what you love to do, I bet you there's a freelance opportunity that you can use, that you can do to utilize that skill or that love, that passion that you have of reading, being an avid reader. So there are people who are looking for people to, what are they called? ARC. Is it ARC? Read advanced reader copy. It is ARC. So there are people who will pay you to read their manuscript, their book, in advance of them publishing it so that they can make sure they're appealing to the right audience, that they've hit all the marks when it comes to flow of the story, things like that. And what having a real reader's point of view really does help so that they can make sure that they're putting out the best book. So they have people who get paid to read books. So if that is a passion that you have, if you are a media specialist at your school and you know about a whole bunch of literally a whole library of books, right? You know what kids like in the school and you know what really hits, what keeps getting checked out at the front desk. You know what the children like to read. So if you happen to be a media specialist who has access to some type of information like that, and then you can even recommend books. You can start a blog recommending and reviewing books, and depending on how well you're working, you may end up getting paid. You might have authors coming to you asking you to read or spotlight their book on your blog. And if you decide to do something like YouTube reviews, where you read several pages of the book and provide your insight, these are businesses. I keep switching up. I'm so sorry, y'all who are paying attention. right? So I keep messing up freelance work, which is typically contractual versus online businesses, because I always talk about online business. So that's where it's coming from. But in the same token, it is still the same because you are getting hired to do a task. You're getting hired to do something. And so even with the freelance work, it is still contractual. It's still somebody's going to hire you and pay you for the services that you provide. And that's what we're talking about, freelance services, things that you are doing already that can be your quick start. Not that you're going to create a business from scratch. We're going to talk freelance. We're talking about skills that you already have. And if you need to enhance them at some point, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. But the key to freelance is starting quick, easy, and fast, and typically for free. But there are some minor costs like setting up a website or getting the particular licensure that you need in order to work outside the home, do certain type of activities. You may want to go ahead and establish yourself with an LLC or some type of incorporated status so that people can take you as a legitimate service provider, things like that. So there are some costs associated with it, but initially they don't have to be. You can go basic old school referrals, and somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody is going to send the work your way. So consider that as well. All right. Now, how many clients do you need to make it work? We talk about this all the time. That's what we call the money math. You got to get your money math together so that you know how many services that you need to provide in order to make that money goal that you set for staying home. Right now, some people, they want to set that money goal to be exactly or above what their current job is, exactly or above what their current job is paying, which may or may not be realistic depending on the services that you offer. So once you choose the service you want to offer, I want you to look at your budget. What does that include? I named a couple of things that might be budget items for you starting out your business. But once you look at your budget to figure out how many clients you'll need to sign on a regular basis to generate the income that you need, then you'll need to know how much you can charge and where those customers are located. Okay, so we talked about, okay, we need to know first, we need to know what service are we going to provide. Are we going to provide what did I say ARCs were? Advanced copy reader services. If we're going to offer that service, how much can we charge? You need to research how much do ARC readers actually make, or if they get free pro bono type. You read this for free, and I give you 10 copies signed, autographed, or whatever the case may be, whatever the exchange is. So you get your skills, identify what skills you have, identify what type of business you can start, freelance business you can start with those skills. Calculate how much you need to charge in order to live the way that you want to live. So if you say you want to make, I'm just going out there, this is always math I've already done, $100,000 a year. Well, you break that down, that's $8,333 a month. And then you have to break that down, how many dollars a week, how many dollars a day. And then that only will only help you to find out what it is that you want to do if you know how to price your services. So think about that. How do you price your services so that you can make those financial goals that you want to make? And if the service that you provide is not beefy enough, it's called packaging. If just the service itself is not really a high value, a high ticket item, then do packages. And that means you're just going to give a little bit of something else that you can include. So instead of just doing advanced reader copy reading. You're just not going to just read for you. I also provide you a written synopsis or yeah, a written synopsis and 2 or 3 takeaways from of what or suggestions what they should do, what they could do to make it clearer. Whatever it is, you're bringing the topics together, the topics together to make your package more feel give the appearance of more value, so that you can make the charge the prices that you want to charge or need to charge in order to make those financial goals that you want. Now, we also need to know where the customers are located, right? So you need to know where they are in order to get these people to buy your services. And so that also takes some research. But even if your ultimate goal is a lifestyle based business that enables you to have time, freedom, and flexibility, starting with a service based freelance business is an excellent way to at least dip your toe in the entrepreneurial community and gain control over your time so that you can devote more of it to building your business vision. Now, we've talked a lot and we've given you a whole bunch of positives or pros for why starting a freelance business can be just what you need to kick off your entrepreneurial journey. So, in today's topic of short term gigs, long term dreams, how mompreneurs can excel with freelance services. We've talked about those pros. We've talked about opportunities to hone in your skills and use those skills that you already have to get paid in the business of your own, that you can kick your job, the job to the curb, and really start investing in yourself and giving yourself the opportunity to design your life. And so with that, if you are interested in getting more assistance with that, if you have a business idea, you have a business or a business that is not going the way you want it to go, or if you just need some additional eyes and ears and you need some support, listen, Digimompreneur, we are a business coach. We help moms to start online businesses. We give advice and we give advice and we encourage moms to start businesses. And so if you need help with any of these things, starting an online business, starting a freelance business, not having all the answers to whether or not I should do an LLC or S corp, or whether, or what should I do as a first step, then you can reach out to me. Definitely. We are at www.digimompreneur.com. And it's just short for, it's a word play of digital mompreneur. So come check us out. We are definitely available to assist. If you're already in the group, make sure that you utilize our 20-minute free session so that you can get some time on my calendar and we can get a little chat going about your business and how we can help you to soar. All right. If there's nothing else, make sure you put your comments in the comment field, questions in the comment field, and we will answer them as soon as we get an opportunity. And thank you for joining us. Until next time.